Hey family. Um, I've been quiet. I've been quiet about what's been going on since my son had an accident. Um, and I haven't told the story. I have never been the type of person to believe that every thought or everything that goes on in my life needs a microphone and a camera. I'm so not like a look at me type of person. But I realize that I have a platform where people can learn from and connect with and feel seen by some of the things that I'm experiencing if I share them. So, and I'm always saying, oh, share your story. So this is unscripted and impromptu. But here we go. So last week my son was working late and he hit a telephone pole on his way home. He hit the pole and he went spiraling through the woods on a long, windy road. If anybody knows where Surrattsville Road is, or Surratts Road, that's where he was, and was thrown from his car, knocked unconscious. He went through the windshield. He was knocked unconscious, and woke up, walked and found his way back to the road, and was found by a driving by woman who was just calling about the power outage that he caused. Somehow he managed to not break any bones, have only a concussion, which, was hard. And his face, apparently it was so bad that when I got on the scene, the paramedics would not let me see him. And you know what happens when you tell a mommy she can't see her baby, and that baby is hurt. So yeah, that was an ordeal. As for my end of things, it was crazy because a mother knows. A mother knows. I knew it was time for him to get off of work. And for some reason, I had just laid down to go to bed and I sat up and I was like, I'm thinking about Nicholas. And then the power went out. And I said, I'm worried about Nicholas. I said it out loud. I told my husband, I'm worried about Nicholas. I text him to say, hey, be careful. The road is windy and this power is out. Maybe take the other way. And then a few minutes later, I heard the ambulance and I said, something is wrong. I sat up and I said, something's wrong. Something's not right. And I text him again. And then 6 minutes later, I got a call from a firefighter telling me that he wasn't sure how my son survived. He wasn't sure how he had no broken bones. He wasn't even sure how he was able to tell him my phone number. But I know how. God was in the car. God had to be in the car. Jesus was in there with his seatbelt on, with a catcher's mitt and everything. Like, he carried my baby through the windshield. And also the car was on fire. Also, the car was in the woods so far that the firefighters could not get to it to put the fire out. And no, he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. But that's what saved him. Because if he had, he'd have been stuck in the car that was on fire. Not saying don't wear your seatbelt. I'm saying that things happen for a reason. And God gets the glory. When we talk to the paramedics, when we talk to everybody, they're like, we don't know how he survived. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine this morning, and she said, that's how you know God did it. He doesn't want you to be able to understand how it happened, because he wants you to lean on him and say, and recognize that he does what he wants to do. And he saves people. And for me, after being in the hospital, and they wouldn't let me see him, and then finally getting to see him and his face, that was really hard for me. I think it would be hard for any mom to see their baby's face all, bloody and mangled, and all of the stitches that they had to do just to put it back together. Like, it was bad. It was bad and traumatic for me. But for the most part, the trauma for me was, it was about almost losing my son. It was about the fact that his dad wasn't here to be here with me and, and feel this with me. It had nothing to do with I was so glad my husband was there. My new husband, I'm remarried. I'm so glad he was there and he was all the things he needed to be. Not a knock against him at all. But when you make a child with somebody, and this is the part that's hard for people that are the spouse to understand, when they don't share that child. When you share a child with somebody, everything they do, from their ups and downs, their lefts and rights, like the things they go through, the things they do to you, the things they say, like, from being angry at them to grateful for them, all the things that you go through, the emotional roller coaster that you go through with a child, the only person that really gets it, that really shares it with you, is that person. Now, I'm not going to say that the other, that a spouse can't do that. I'm saying that there's a specific feeling that you have when that person isn't there, when you can't share that, when you're the only person, you're the only parent left that made this kid. It feels, it's indescribable. It feels incredibly heavy. Like, I need you here to hold this baby with me. Like, especially if he had not made it. But even though, and in the gratefulness, in the heaviness of him making it, but having a long road of healing, like him looking for the strength from his father to know that he could cry and that he would be okay and be strong, like all of that, like that was heavy. That was heavy. And I'm still in the middle of feeling all the things. I'm still in the middle of feeling what it's like to be so grateful that I get to do something that most mothers that have a child go through a car accident like this, they don't get their baby back. They're picking out funeral clothes. They're, walking into an empty room that they had when they were a kid. Like, I get to have time with him. I get to wait on him hand and foot. I get to make him dinner and bring it to him. I get to sit and talk with him because he can't look at screens right now because, of the trauma and his concussion. But like all the things that I would be, I guess, as a regular mom in the everyday things, I'm not doing that. He's grown. Or I'm not, telling him again to this, or I'm not bringing him this. Like all of those things, it was like, oh no, I'm doing it. I'm signed up. I'm there and ready and early. Like I'm ready to be the mom for my baby. I'm ready to be his mom. Like, not like I wasn't ready before, but like because of what this could have been, it's almost like I'm getting to live what would have happened if Jason had lived, if my late husband had lived. Like, I'm getting all of the things that were a space left behind when it was him. It was like, I didn't pick out his funeral clothes. I didn't really even go into the church when he passed into his funeral, and that's a different story. But all the things that were an empty space now because he wasn't there anymore, my son is there. He is there in the flesh, and the opportunity to love him and love on him is there. And so while the trauma is still there, and I'm seeing him as his scars heal, as we go back and forth to the doctor to have his checkups and even investigate certain things, like he had a really bad headache that scared him. He, like, all the things, like, I'm there in the moment, I'm present in the space, and it's hard. People are like, well, how are you doing as a mom? I'm like, have you been a mom? There's no word for how I'm feeling. I am grateful, terrified, traumatized, exhausted. Grateful, trauma exhausted. Like, I'm ecstatic that he's alive. I'm more than grateful. Grateful is not even a good enough word. Like, if I could lay prostrate in front of Jesus right now, and I probably have over the nights that that I have stayed up just praying and worrying over him, like, yeah, I'm all of those things. And I just wanted to put this part of the journey onto out there in the world as a widowed person, that grief and trauma don't end. It's more like they evolve. Like, you evolve as you pile on the survivals through the grief and trauma that you've been through before. Not so much, carrying unhealed baggage with you and carrying, all of the weighing down of the grief that you had before. But when you work through and you heal through and you understand the grief that you've been through before and the trauma that you've been through before, it changes you in a way that the next time, because there's always going to be something going on. There's always either going to be an up or a down, but change is always happening. Change is not going to stop. So what it teaches you is how to exist in that space of grateful terror, trauma, exhausted, and that's what I'm doing. I'm existing, I'm resting, I'm self-caring, I'm taking care of him. I'm thinking in the spaces of what I would have done had I had this time with people that are gone, like my father or my husband, or just the things that I want to fill the space with now. That not just that he's here, but that I'm aware of how precious time is and how I felt when I didn't have that chance. So I hope that's helpful for you. Pray for us. He is recovering and already ready to go out New Year's Eve. I'm like, sir, he's 18, but sir, you ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but not. Like, so y'all pray for me because he is my youngest baby, my youngest boy anyway. He was the youngest for a long time before my daughter was born. So y'all know how it is telling that youngest baby who's got good grades and you run out of excuses to tell him no, other than I'm just trying to keep you safe. Like, that's all I got. And that's what he's going to get. And he's going to be upset. But hopefully people can come over and see him instead. He's talking about, I want to go over my friend's house. Your friend's house better come over here. So y'all pray for me and widowed moms everywhere, remarried or not. You have a unique struggle and I'm here for it. I'm here for you to just talk through these things, these difficult conversations. So stay tuned. I think this is going to be a series, this not teen mom, but widowed mom of teens, like all the things that we go through. Comment below if you'd love to hear more about these types of things, these types of stories where, knucklehead boys and, I'm bringing up a teenage girl. So, I mean, she's 8. She's not there yet, but I'm already into the sass years. Okay. So if y'all want to know what that's like or you need a little bit of guidance, please remember to like and subscribe if this is what you're here for. If you are loving this type of content and you just needed somebody to say these things or just can't believe somebody is out here talking about the things that no one else is talking about when it comes to being a widowed mom, smack that button, ring that bell, do all the things, like and subscribe. That's what we're here for. That's what we'll be doing. So can't wait to add you into the conversation. Talk to you soon.